Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about being biased in your manifestations. I think that this is something really important, and I'm going to give a real life example with me, with somebody that I was talking to, and then just in general. So I used to be a flight attendant, for those who don't know, and during flight attendant training, we have to do different things, different types of training. And one day we were doing like a cultural sensitivity training just to help people better understand that we're going to be, having different types of people come in, different types of people on the plane that we're going to be servicing, and just to be culturally sensitive and understanding of all different types of people. So my trainer, he had us do this activity, and he basically walked us through a day of travel. He said, I want everybody here to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you're booking a trip to go on a flight to a destination that you really like, that you enjoy. You're planning a vacation. And I want you to imagine going to the airport. I want you to imagine getting on the plane, looking at your pilot, looking at your flight attendants. They tell you hello, you sit down in your seat, and then you're off, and then you fly into your destination. We went through that, whatever. And then at the end, he asked us, was your pilot a woman? Or was the flight attendant Black? Or were the people sitting next to you, did they have some sort of disability? And, were they differently abled? And he was just going on to say, if you just imagine cookie cutter people, then you might be culturally biased or just a little bit insensitive to different types of people in different types of position. Like you can have a pilot who's a woman or who's a different ethnicity or whatever, what have you. And literally that changed my life, because I was thinking about it in a different way. I imagined myself, right, going to the hotel, or going to my trip, going to the airport. I took an Uber pool because I didn't want to pay for a regular Uber X or rent a car. I flew Southwest, the cheapest flight that I could find, and the bags were free at the time. I sat in the middle seat because I was in my dream. Sometimes I don't check in on time, so I sat in the middle seat. And when I got to my destination, I was looking for the cheapest option to get to my shared hostel or low budget Airbnb to then take my vacation. And I literally sat back. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking an Uber pool in my dreams. I'm in the middle seat on a plane in my dreams. He literally told us to imagine that we're going on a vacation, to use our imaginations. And I chose the middle seat on a Southwest flight, and I took an Uber pool. Like, it messed me up. And I've been into, this was a few years ago. This was like 2022, I think, or 2023 that we did this activity. And I literally went up to him afterwards. I was like, oh my gosh, like this, I know that this was about cultural sensitivity, but you literally just helped me realize that I'm biased in my manifestations. Like, I'm literally manifesting a middle seat. I'm manifesting not wanting to spend an extra $5 on Uber X. Like, what? That is so insane. And so I wrote a paper about this. I'll link it below. But I wrote a paper about this because it made me think about other areas in my life where I'm using my imagination, but I'm biased in my manifestations, or I'm biased in what I'm thinking about. And I only am doing things the way that I'm doing them now. Like, when you dream, you're supposed to dream about just the highest self that you are. You're supposed to dream about the things that you really want in life. You're not supposed to dream about the same situation and scenario and frequency that you're in right now, right? Like, if somebody told you, oh, imagine that you could get any house that you want, you shouldn't be thinking, well, I would imagine this house, but the mortgage is going to be too high. And okay, well, if I do this, then I'm going to have to do that. And what about the HOA fees? I'm going to have to pay that every quarter. No, you should be thinking about the best, biggest, or whatever it means to you. It doesn't even have to be the biggest, but you should be thinking about the best thing that you can think about, not worried about how much it's going to cost, not worried about the little intricacies, not worried about what can go wrong. And so many of us do this. And that's why I call it manifest bias, because we are biased in our own dreams without even realizing it in the everyday. Like, we think about, maybe the car that we want, and then we think, okay, well, what if I get into an accident? No, the car payment is going to be too high. Well, what about my insurance? My credit isn't great. You're not supposed to think about that in your imagination. Your imagination is not supposed to be used for worry or for thinking about the literal reality that you're already in, because then you're just going to get stuck in a loop. So that was really life-changing for me. Like I said, I wrote a paper about it. I thought about it even more. And oh man, it was a wake-up call, a reality check, because it's like, you see people who literally dream so big and make it happen. You see people, and another thing too is that anything that anybody has or anybody can done, you can do that too, period, full stop. It does not matter. And people might say, oh, well, you know, we don't have the same 24 hours in a day, and I have to do laundry, I have to do this, and I have kids, and I have work. It's like, all of those are excuses, and I'm starting to realize that if you really want something, you are able to do it. If you have a vision and a plan in your mind, it is there for a reason. There's a reason why you're attracted to the things that you're attracted to. There's a reason why you like nice things. There's a reason why you want certain things to be in a certain way. There's a reason why you like the nice car. And maybe it's not the thing itself, but maybe it's how you think that the thing is going to make you feel. Or maybe it's how you think that you're going to feel once you have these things, right? Maybe it's not that you want a big house with an at-home gym and a sauna and a pool and a nice neighborhood gated community, but maybe you just want to feel comfortable and you want to feel secure. You want to feel like I can provide myself with nice things, right? Maybe it's not the flashy car because you want other people to see it and take pictures of it and da-da-da, but maybe you want the respect that comes with it, the respect that comes with maintaining a car of that stature and of having something and the frequency that you have to withhold in order to keep those things. That's what you really want, right? So that was life-changing. And then another example that I have is I was talking with somebody for where I work, and he was just telling me, you know, yeah, we were just like, I don't know, talking about something about the future. And he was just like, yeah, you know, when I'm older, I'll probably just be in a home, you know, watching TV and just chilling in a nursing home. And I'm just like, I just literally stopped and I was like, why would you wish that upon yourself? Like, a lot of people do end up in nursing homes, but if you've ever been in a nursing home or like a retirement facility or a facility where people are like, you know, kind of at end of life care, it's not fun. It's not somewhere that you want to be, and you shouldn't really plan that. And I'm not saying that to judge him, but it just reminded me of my own biases towards my future. And so for someone to literally say, oh, you know, I'll probably just be in a nursing home when I'm, you know, 65 years old, and, you know, I'll just be dependent on the nurses to do stuff for me, and I'll probably just end up there watching TV until I die. Like, to see that or to hear that come out of somebody's mouth was like shocking. And it's also not shocking because, again, a lot of us think this way. A lot of us, when we think about the future, about our dreams, we're conditioned, number one, by society and television and media, but then we're also conditioned by the people in our lives too. Like, there have been times where I've accomplished things that family members literally told me I could not accomplish. Like, I've had my father tell me before, well, you'll probably work until you're 70 and then retire and then die. And then, like, literally say this to my face when I talk about becoming an entrepreneur, talk about, you know, following my dreams, becoming the person that I want to be. Like, a lot of times people are just biased and they can't see another way. The working class, they think that it's normal to work until you're 65 or 70 or however old, and then retire and then live off of your Social Security, your pension, your 401k, your whatever, right? Then you have a completely different caliber of people who understand there's another option. Like, instead of retiring at I'm 65, why don't I try retiring at 40? Why don't I try to build wealth and businesses in my 20s and my 30s? That way, when I do get older, I don't have to worry about this, or I don't have to be dependent on the government or dependent on having enough money to be able to survive, or dependent on food stamps, or dependent on these things. So this is super important, right? This is your future in your life. So I urge you, I know this video is getting a little bit long, but I urge you, if there are things in your life that you're thinking about, I want you to really think about how you're envisioning them and how you're imagining them. And I want you to pull out the biases that you have and start understanding that sometimes when we think about things, we're not thinking about them in the best, most highest, you know, way possible. Sometimes we're thinking about things in passing through our conditioning, and it's going to cause you to be unhappy, because when you get there, like, let's say that you are imagining your trip, don't imagine things that are uncomfortable. Don't imagine things that aren't going your way. Don't imagine struggle, right? The imagination is not for worry. Okay. And you need to build it up like a muscle too. It's not going to happen the first time, maybe, or maybe it will. I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know what, you know, where your mind is at, but build it up with little things. Like, if you imagine yourself going to an event, don't imagine being socially awkward and being not, you know, not able to fit in and not uncomfortable with how you look. Imagine yourself walking into the room and being there and being allowed to be there and being allowed to feel comfortable and to feel confident. Imagine that. If you're about to go on a date, don't imagine it as being awkward or being like, oh, well, I don't know. Da, da, da. No, imagine the best date possible, right? So we have to start using our imagination for these things because it's important. And if we don't, we're probably biased to think of something negative or something that's really not going to serve us. So, woo, I had to get that off my chest, y'all. I'm not going to lie, because yeah, you already know, I'm going through it now too. So thank you guys again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if this video was eye-opening to you, please let me know below. I read every comment. I love the discussions. I would love to hear about any biases that you have in your life that you're going to be changing now. And thank you again for watching. I'll see y'all at the next one. Bye.